Welcome to Knight Stadium at Southern Virginia University for today's women's soccer match featuring the Eagles of Bridgewater College and your Southern Virginia Knights. President Gordon and the Southern Virginia University staff, thank you for your support of the student athletes and coaches participating in today's contest. The NCAA and USA South Athletic Conference promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, racial, or sexist comments, or intimidating actions directed at coaches, players, officials, or any other team representative will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal. Also, the consumption or possession of alcoholic beverages and tobacco use is strictly prohibited. Please stay away from the playing area and team bench area. Thank you for your cooperation. And go Knights! In accordance with tradition at Southern Virginia University, we will begin with a word of prayer, which will be offered by C.C. Finn.
Heavenly Father, we are so grateful that you have come to come today and therefore for you. Our community, the God together and to and together God, to ask you to please bless and protect our players, education, protect their ability to connect and to influence us. For the Father, and the Spirit, and Son, we love you for the next generation, and we thank you, Jesus Christ, and Holy Father, amen.
And now, for your starting lineup, starting tonight for the Eagles, at defense, number 32, Sienna Smith. At defense, number 2, Anna Beelan. At midfield, number 3, Kendall Garza. At midfield, number 6, Sophia Phillips. At midfield, number 11, Catherine King. At forward, number 14, Laura Nardi. At midfield, number 16, Cassie Villasana. At defense, number 21, Maren Harris. At defense, number 23, Bryn Dempsey. At forward, number 27, Lucy Larson. And in goal, number 0, Aaron Lockett. The Eagles are coached by Mike Van Horn and assisted by Tommy James and Hap Silikowski. And now, starting for your Knights, at midfield, number 2, Courtney Montez. At defense, number 4, Haley Gadd. At midfield, number 7, Matia Murray. At forward, number 10, Zoe Warner. At defense, number 15, Ashley Hamlin. At midfield, number 16, Dylan Peterson. At defense, number 20, Emily Rosenbaum. At defense, number 21, Tessa Miller. At midfield, number 33, Natalie Blazer. At midfield, number 40, McKenna Curry. And in goal for the Knights, number 00, Beth Manuel. The Knights are coached by Rob Dahl and assisted by Blake Coe. Now, if you all please rise and face the flag for our nation's national anthem. Thank you, and go Knights!
Are we on? I guess we'll assume we're on. All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Knight Stadium on the campus of Southern Virginia University in beautiful Buena Vista, Virginia. I'm Colby Kemp. Tonight I'm joined in the broadcast booth with CC Bands. CC, tonight, the Southern Virginia Knights, they welcome in the Eagles of Bridgewater College for an exciting women's soccer match. And so far on the season, CC, the Knights are still searching for that first victory. Coach Rob Dahl, he knew that he was going to test his team this year early on, and it has been a test so far.
No, it definitely has. The teams that they've played thus far have really been able to put the Knights to the test to see what exactly they're capable of and really to see what they can do this early on in the season. And just like you said, Colby, they're yet to have a win, but that doesn't mean that they haven't scored, and they obviously are still learning from each other.
No, absolutely. It's somewhat of a young team. There's a lot of freshmen that we're going to see on the pitch tonight. And Coach Dahl, he's worked with a lot of different lineups, just searching for that lineup that has good chemistry, that seems to work together the best. So it'll be interesting tonight as they are hosting the number 6 ranked team in the region here in Bridgewater College.
No, for sure. Tonight's going to be a really good match. Both of these teams are skilled and have so much that they're capable of doing, so it should definitely be a really good game tonight.
We'll go over the starting lineups real quick as we anticipate the kickoff. In goal for the Eagles will be Erin Lockard. 2 weeks ago, she was named the ODAC Player of the Week. She is joined by Anna Beelan, Kendall Garza, Sophia Phillips, Catherine King, Laura Narby, Cassandra Villafan, excuse me, everybody, get back to that, Marin Harris, Bryn Dempsey, Lucy Larson, and Gia Ciardulo. For the Knights, it'll be Beth Manuel in goal, Courtney Montez, Haley Gadd, Tia Murray, Zoe Warner, Ashley Hamblin, Delynn Peterson, Emily Rosenbaum, Tessa Miller, Natalie Blazer, and McKenna Curry. So here in the early going, Bridgewater with the cross. Beth Manuel able to come out, intercept the cross, and the Knights will attempt to mount a counterattack. But Bridgewater quickly back on the ball. There's a through ball, and Manuel once again has to come off her line. Cece, you mentioned that the Knights have been challenged, and so far they've managed 2 goals on the season. But everybody would like to see them. I'm sure Coach Dahl would like to see them find the back of the net with a little bit more frequency.
No, for sure. That's something that I think every team is trying to do this year, is really get as many shots on goal as possible. But really just because that's how you win, is to get those goals going, obviously. And just as you were even speaking, the Knights even had a little bit of an advancement there on the field. But tonight, if they really want to succeed, they're definitely going to have to capitalize on that.
Just keep going. I'll try to fix it.
Bridgewater now on the attack. Knights, as they have been accustomed to the last several years. Defensively, they're led by Haley Gadd, the senior out of Kaysville, Utah. She's done a very good job of anchoring that defense during her career here at Southern Virginia. And with that, we're going to have the Knights' first corner kick. That'll be by Bridgewater.
Corner kicks are always fun in soccer. You really have to see, well, for the defensive side, okay, what are we going to do to specifically prevent them from getting an easy shot on goal? And from the offensive side, how's the best way that we want to advance this and get a really good shot and a good look at it?
That time, Bridgewater plays it short. Do a short initial, and then they set something up on the secondary kick with the cross, and Beth Manuel once again able to go out and secure the ball. Knights now will see if they can create a little possession, take some time, and get into the game offensively. Good ball played down the far side.
That's one of the fun things about getting creative with jerseys. It's hard to tell who's who exactly, but it's cool to see the colors.
Bridgewater. Good ball down into the near corner. It's number 27, Lucy Larson. Defended well by the Knights. Zoe Warner bringing the ball upfield for the Knights. This will be a throw in here by Emily Rosenbaum. As we mentioned, the team being pretty young right now.
No, exactly. Just even of those starters from the Knights, 6 of them are freshmen. I mean, the Knights, they have 15 returners on their team this year, which is exactly 50% of their roster. But the fact that they have that many freshmen shows the growth that this team can also have.
Yeah, many of the players that will be coming off the bench tonight have logged a lot of minutes on the pitch for the Knights throughout their careers. So the Knights, they are deep. Shot taken there in the middle.
It's a good look there. She had a nice little view of the goal.
In the end, misses a little wide left. Nonetheless, the Knights with a little bit of better offense there, making the Eagles work on their defensive end. As we mentioned in the top of the broadcast, Knights are currently 0-3-1 as they continue to search for that first victory this season. They've played a difficult schedule so far, and that was on purpose by Coach Dahl, as I've talked with him this season. They've played Mary Washington. They are ranked in the top 5 in the region. Washington and Lee, they're currently number 15 in the country. And Shenandoah and Ferrum. Ferrum was the one result the Knights were able to obtain as they played Ferrum to a 1-1 tie. And that was at Ferrum. So the Knights look to organize and score offensively. The 2 goal scorers so far this year, CC, have been 2 veterans, Haley Gadd and Tia Murray.
Yeah, both of those players, Tia and Haley, they've been here a long time. They know what they're doing. They've played soccer their entire lives. Basically, they have a goal, pun intended, and they set to achieve it.
There'll be a foul called right at midfield. So Knights maintain possession and work their way. Haley Gadd, she'll send it down toward the area. A long shot taken there, and that's going to just miss left. I believe that was Zoe Warner giving that one a spin. About 30 yards out. And it looked dangerous for a long time, Cece.
Yeah, I think that had a bunch of us up here in the box kind of holding our breath, seeing where that was going to go. It was a great shot right there.
Good to see the Knights able to organize themselves a little bit. The first couple minutes, Bridgewater had several balls in the area, looked a little dangerous, but now the Knights seem to have settled in and able to maintain some possession themselves. A long ball out front. Here's Bridgewater. Natalie Blazer giving chase. And good defense there by Natalie. She's able to usher the ball to Beth Manuel and pick up a foul along the way.
She just showed something that's actually a really, really good skill as a defender, is kind of being able to seal off that offensive player to make sure that she doesn't get in front of you. And especially if sometimes you're maybe going against someone who could possibly be stronger or maybe faster than you, if you can barely get on the inside of them and just kind of block them out from getting in, that gives the opportunity, like you just said, for that keeper to come in, Beth Manuel, and just to take the ball.
Yeah, the skill she utilized the most there was her flat-out speed. The Bridgewater player had gotten in front, but Natalie was able to get in front, like you said, and seal the player away from the ball. Bridgewater now once again, ball into the middle. Through ball, but just ahead. And that will roll to Beth Manuel, and she will send the Knights on their way in the other direction.
Just even through these first couple of minutes, first 10 minutes of this game, we've really been able to see there's been a good mix of where the ball has been on this field. The last couple of minutes, I mean, Bridgewater has taken possession, but yes, the Knights have it again. And it's just a good mix, seeing like, okay, where's the ball going to be in this game?
Goal! And that was the freshman Delynn Peterson that took that from midfield. Little two-man game, and in the end, she made a cross.
She saw that opening right there, and she took complete advantage of it.
Looking to see exactly who that was that put that into the goal. It was a great shot from about 15 yards out.
Even then, that's still just a great start for the Knights. You want to kind of make these teams that you play get maybe a little bit nervous, have them not know what they're going to expect as you play them, because they might come in thinking, okay, this team, they haven't won a game yet. Let's really put some pressure on them, put some heat. But also they might seem a little more relaxed, and that's something that the Knights are probably tonight going to be like, nope, don't do that to us.
And that was Courtney Montez getting her first goal of the season. And just 10 minutes into this match, so you see the Knights take a 1-0 lead over the Bridgewater Eagles. So something, a lot of excitement for the Knights, and I'm sure Coach Dahl is excited to see his young squad take that early 1-0 lead.
No, exactly. That's something that's going to bring the energy and hopefully get them, like you were saying, just get them more excited and kind of, as this game goes on, keep them going.
Free kick for the Eagles. Ball lofted into the box, headed back out. Eagles will maintain possession. Another cross. And well defended once again by the Knights.
Even then, we're just seeing the talent that the Knights have, being able to take those air balls, knowing how to receive them and take those.
Throw out earned by the Knights. We mentioned the goal scorers so far this year, Haley Gadd and Tia Murray, and what they've meant to this program the last few years, but also Courtney Montez also very much falls into the same category. She's given a lot. This is now her junior season. No surprise that she was able to find the back of the net.
No, exactly. A lot of these girls, they're veterans. They've been here for a minute. I, even as an SVU student, grew up coming here to SVU with a bunch of these girls, and it's been fun to see the growth of these players, but as well as this team.
In speaking with Coach Dahl, I mentioned before, he was very excited about this squad, says there's a lot of talent. Like we said, 0-3-1 so far this season, but I think the fact that you get an early lead like that, 1-0, on a program of the caliber of Bridgewater, and that's something that they can start building some momentum and gaining some confidence just from that success of just the early goal.
No, exactly. SVU has won conference in women's soccer multiple times in the last few years, or at least they've made it to the conference finals. They've made themselves known. So they're a skilled program, and they should have no fear or doubt about that. And having maybe more of a shaky start has been a little bit interesting for them, but especially like you're saying, Colby, they should have no reason now to really have that fear or doubt.
So far, been very solid on defense. Anytime that Bridgewater has been able to get the ball into the final third, the Knights have come up and played strong defense. Knights take the ball away right there. That will be a throw-in going the other way for Bridgewater. Lynn Peterson battling at midfield. That's where the goal started, with DeLynn taking that up the near side. DeLynn, one of the freshmen. She comes to SVU, highly regarded, and Coach Dahl is excited about the success that he expects her to have here at SVU.
And speaking of Coach Dahl, he's one of the many coaches here at SVU, but him especially shows so much faith in his players, and he really shows them that, you know, this is what our team is capable of, this is what we've done, and he is also able to set expectations with them that are realistic, that they see that they can achieve. And that really just shows that the love that a coach has for his team.
Yes, Coach Dahl has worked hard to develop the culture that will attract players of the caliber. As Peterson right there, looking to get into some space. But Coach Dahl works hard to create the culture where players come in expecting success, but knowing that it's going to take some work. Bridgewater now looking for a counterattack. And SVU defends that well and earns a throw in. Good ball played out wide by the Knights. Just a little too far out in front. And now DeLynn Peterson heading into the area, weaving in between a couple defenders before Bridgewater is able to send it out of bounds. It'll be a throw in. Knights.
SVU is definitely giving Bridgewater a little bit of a run for their money, as they've really been attacking, especially on this defensive, the Bridgewater's defensive side. But Bridgewater has been doing a really good job actually of preventing the Knights from scoring more, as they've been on this side of the field for most of the night.
Knights now able to maintain possession. The first 5 minutes, possession somewhat dominated by Bridgewater. And now the last 13 minutes or so seem that the Knights have been able to settle in, especially after scoring that goal. And their possessions are lasting a little bit longer and getting a little bit deeper into that Bridgewater final third. And a foul called. So Bridgewater will have a free kick. Bridgewater is led by Coach Mike Van Horn. This is his 18th season at Bridgewater. Created a very strong program there, as we've mentioned. A top program in the ODAC. Also, as we mentioned, ranked 6th in the regional rankings at the moment. Dangerous ball into the area. Beth Manuel once again. Beth having a solid game so far.
Yeah, definitely playing some great defense and really just preventing a lot of those shots from going in, but also knowing when she needs to advance, kind of move herself forward, but knowing just where to go and when she should be where she is.
In a losing cause last week against Washington and Lee, the number 15th ranked team in the country, Beth Manuel had 14 saves. So very, very strong game there. Unfortunately for the Knights, Washington and Lee was able to connect on one goal, and that proved to be the difference.
All right there, even just another great save. She's definitely proving herself tonight, but 14 saves, that's awesome.
And that ball will head back to Beth in goal. Bridgewater regains possession. Ball played forward. Emily Rosenbaum right there.
Something cool that we can all appreciate is we can tell that Bridgewater, they're still fighting, they're still going, they're really trying, they're putting the pressure on the Knights, but they're also really just applying. Well, they're applying pressure everywhere, but they're also still going at the goal, and they're still just playing great defense.
Knights with a little room. There's another through ball, and Lockard has to come out off of her line as Lynn Peterson, her and Zoe Warner, creating a little two-player offense there. And Lockard was able to beat Peterson to that ball. Otherwise, Knights would have had another shot at the goal.
I think Dylan Peterson also kind of took a little tumble and went flying for a minute.
Foul called on the far side. It'll be a free kick for Bridgewater.
It's great to see Bridgewater really trying. They're trying to advance the ball, but just then again, we can see that the Knights were able to just take that and really just establish, okay, this is our field, this is what we're going to take. That's something that they've been able to do all night. And it'll be interesting to see if they continue to do that in the second half later.
And the foul whistled on the Knights right there. Knights thought they had a little bit of an advantage there, but the referee says there was a foul. So Bridgewater will restart just around midfield as we are now just past the halfway mark of this first half. SVU continues to lead by a score of 1-0. That goal coming off the foot of Courtney Montez. Bridgewater looking to advance offensively, which has proven difficult in the last 15 minutes or so against this Knight defense. Shot taken there from about 20 yards out, and it'll sail just wide right and be a goal kick for SVU goalie Beth Manuel.
Oh, that was a great shot taken by the Eagles right there. Even some really good ball handling skills, just being able to maneuver that between some of the Knights' feet. It was a great attempt right there.
I'm sure that Coach Dahl is excited that his squad took a 1-0 lead early, but by no means does he think that that's going to be enough against this very good Bridgewater Soccer Club. Brief timeout on the field. Several substitutions now being made by Coach Dahl. New players coming onto the pitch for the first time in this game. Looks like Addie Newman is one of those. Este Schneider also
clear right there from the Knights, as you can see that the ball is just kind of sticking between that 10-yard line and 10 and 20-yard line. Knights really providing some good defense, but really just needing to clear the ball out.
Also, Ashley Kelsey into the match. So it's Kelsey, Newman, and Schneider onto the pitch for the Knights. A loose ball right in front of the goal. Great save by Manuel.
Great block.
Probably the most dangerous possession of the night there by the Eagles, and Beth Manuel comes up big off the shot that was taken just about 8 yards from the goal.
Yeah, Bridgewater, they're still throwing the heat on, and Beth Manuel is taking it in stride.
So Kelsey, Newman, and Schneider onto the pitch, and Blazer, Rosenbaum, and Murray will get a break. And now Bridgewater's Lockard will restart with a goal kick. "19 minutes left in this first half." Bridgewater once again putting the pressure, and there's Manuel once again.
Being ready right there to just receive that. Really being able to just watch where the ball is going, where those players are going. That in itself is kind of hard, because just being able to watch it through all of your teammates and the other team's players. Okay, where's the ball going to go? How are they going to hit it? So she's been playing really well tonight.
Yeah, you said that very well, Cece. You know, part of being a goalie is just being in the right spot, cutting the angles, and the last 2 shots have been from right in front of the goal. She was well positioned and was able to make the easy save both times. And that time, the Knights misplay it a little bit, and Bridgewater is able to score the equalizer right there from about 10 yards out. And that will tie the score at 1 apiece.
Yeah, just right there, we're able to see Bridgewater, they were able to take advantage of the moment where that ball was kind of getting loose between both of the teams, not necessarily knowing, okay, where's the ball going to go? And they were able to really see where that ball bounced kind of sideways in their favor, just right to them, and then back into the net.
Unfortunately for the Knights, player on the back line was unable to connect on a clearance, and that allowed Bridgewater a shot from very close range. And Beth was right there. She'd taken the angle, but the Eagles, that goal was scored by Laura Narby. She is the leading goal scorer for the Eagles. That is her 4th goal of the season. And she was able to angle that into the far right corner of the net to tie the match.
And even just a minute ago, there was another foul called, and just looking at the statistics, there have been 5 fouls called on the Knights and 2 for Bridgewater. Well, now 6 fouls, which is an interesting statistic to see, because that makes you think, okay, which team's obviously being more aggressive? We can see that the Knights are really going more at the ball, and that's showing in these fouls. But also, it shows, okay, how are we going to be smart? Like, how do we want to play these? Because these fouls lead to those free kicks, which can sometimes lead to goals.
Absolutely. Some of the fouls, you know, if you're near midfield, likely not to hurt you too much. But when you get into that final third around your goal, you know, a foul is just as dangerous as any corner kick could be.
No, exactly.
Dylan Peterson to Addie Newman.
Kind of fun to see Addie Newman out there. She was one of the star basketball players the last 4 years of her career at SVU. Always fun to see players diving into these other sports that they know that they can play and really exercising their talents there.
Yes, Coach Dahl was pretty excited to get an athlete like Addie that wanted to play a 5th year. He's happy to have her on the squad with that. You know, she also brings a wealth of experience in conference championships and also the NCAA tournament as the night basketball team. I believe during her 4 years made the NCAA basketball tournament at least 3 times. It may be a different sport from basketball, but that experience usually translates whether you're on the court or on the pitch.
Yeah, and Addie is just an amazing athlete in general. She runs fast, she's strong, and that's beneficial to any team anywhere, and any coach would be happy to receive her.
Bridgewater, another shot, and that's going to sail high. Another dangerous attack there mounted by the Bridgewater Eagles.
But the field goal is good.
Yeah, looked like it was probably good from about 20 yards. So the Knights will have a goal kick. We're now under 15 minutes left in this first half. I would imagine both coaches in this final 15 minutes, CC, both coaches are thinking, if we can score a go-ahead goal, great. What we don't want to do is give up the go-ahead goal.
No, exactly. Because you can see kind of the energy and like the attitudes change and shift a little bit. As soon as Bridgewater scored, you could kind of see the energy on the Knights side be like, okay, we don't want that. And you definitely don't want, like you said, that go-ahead goal to happen, because that immediately puts forth the momentum in the other team's favor, and you want that momentum going for you, obviously.
Also, that goal by Bridgewater seems to have given them a little dose of confidence as well, as for the last several minutes, Bridgewater, you know, for the most part has controlled the match, and we've spent a lot of time on the Knights side of the field as Bridgewater's had several opportunities. And there was one more that just came off the left post. Looked for a second that ball was going to find its way into the left side of the goal after a couple deflections right in front of the SVU goal. Fortunately for the Knights.
Definitely did. Was dangerously close. You could even see, even with Beth Merrill, you can kind of see her, kind of shift a little bit. But they're not going to want that to continue happening.
Be a throw in for the Knights, deep in their defensive end. They're able to clear, but Bridgewater will send it to their goalkeeper, Lockard. And now begin to organize their offense as they cross midfield.
Yeah, they immediately right there just took control of it. They're advancing it quickly, and they're just getting it going.
Clearance there by the Knights. .50-50 ball there, won by Bridgewater before Knights are able to clear that defensively. Will be a throw in. Haley Gadd there coming up with a good defensive play for SVU. Bridgewater will throw it in from the far side.
You can see both of those players getting physical and aggressive with each other, because right there, that's a dangerous spot. That's where those goals are going to be scored, even in that area, and as soon as you get closer to the goal, obviously. But you could really just see both of those players were just going aggressively at it.
Good ball handling there by Bridgewater. Number 21, Marin Harris. Bridgewater looking for the cross, but are not going to get it. That's going to be a goal kick for Beth Manuel.
Oh, some good defense there from the Knights. Really kind of cutting the Bridgewater player off, preventing her from really curving in and going in more towards the goal, but just keeping her on that outside left side.
And that will be a foul on Bridgewater, giving the Knights a free kick near midfield. But as Knight fans are familiar with, Haley Gadd will come up, and undoubtedly this ball will be sent near the top of the box. See if the Knights can come up with something offensively. Addie Newman tries to bring the ball down right at the top of the box. Bridgewater there to defend. Throw in for SVU.
That was really good advancement. Getting the ball going, getting closer to the net. That's something that they need to be doing in order to really kind of take more control of the game. As like you said before, Bridgewater is kind of controlling what's going on. But in order to succeed, you got to keep the ball on your side of the field. You want to be, well, on your offensive side of the field. You really want it to be over there because that's where you get your higher percentages for shots on goal. That's where you get more shots on goal, and that's where you're going to get a goal anyways.
Addie Newman in the middle of the field. Little space to work. Swing it out wide. Bridgewater defending well. That'll be cleared. It'll be a throw-in for SVU.
SVU was kind of pushed back a little bit into their own side of the field for a moment, but they were able to quickly turn it back to their side, kind of put a little bit more on the Bridgewater defenders, try to force them to really have to clear it multiple more times, but also just apply pressure to their defense.
8 minutes left in the half. And there is a foul by Bridgewater, and that is going to give the Knights a free kick from just over 20 yards out.
This one's definitely more in that little bit of that danger zone where you can really just go for a shot on goal, or you can really make a play out of it.
Haley Gadd races up from her position, excited to take this free kick. So Bridgewater will set the wall, and right now most of the Knights are set up near the top of the box, but on the right side. Haley will take this from the left side. Dangerous ball. Haley went over the top of the wall, and there were a couple Knights there fighting for the ball about 5 yards in front of the mouth of the goal, but fortunately Bridgewater, fortunately for them, they were able to make the clearance. It'll be a throw-in for the Knights.
Yeah, Bridgewater, they've been able to play some really good defense the last few minutes, really deflect all of these shots, but also just prevent the Knights from getting those shots.
Clearance by Bridgewater. Haley Gadd right there looking to regain possession for the Knights, and will earn a foul. So Knights, free kick from the logo.
Haley Gadd tonight has definitely been getting her fair share of free kicks, and you can tell she loves it, and she's confident in doing so.
She sends that to the top of the box, and I believe that was Zoe Warner. Little head flick toward goal, but Lockard there to make the save. Bridgewater quickly mounting a counterattack. Far side, looking for the cross. Well defended by the Knights. Here comes the cross. Dangerous, 6 yards from goal. And that will be played out and be corner kick for Bridgewater. Corner kick will come with just about 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Bridgewater plays it short and low. Here comes a cross. Manuel making the play. And that ball is going to go off. A couple bodies there, about 8 yards from goal. It's going to bound into the goal, and that will be the go-ahead goal for Bridgewater.
I think this is going to be a moment that the Knights are going to need to connect and really think, okay, what are we doing that is causing this? Okay, we've played good today. We've had our good moments, but also what are we lacking right now? I mean, there was maybe a little bit of miscommunication there as the ball kind of just bounced into the net, really. But really just going to have them think, okay, what are we going to do to take control of this game?
Yeah, Beth Manuel come out off her line, but the ball was just out of her reach, and as it came down, Lyric Berkeley for Bridgewater was able to connect with it and send it toward the goal. And like you said, it wasn't strong, but it had the momentum to get over the goal line and into the back of the net. Now with that, gives Bridgewater the 2-1 lead with just over 4 minutes left in the half. Bridgewater will have a throw-in near the corner. Knights looking to clear. Knights are to clear to their offensive side of the pitch. Couple substitutions were made on the stoppage for the goal. For the Knights, Abby Simister. Long shot taken by Bridgewater, saved by Manuel.
It was a great save right there, really being able to receive that, the force and impact that had.
Simister onto the pitch for Zoe Warner, and Sydney Bastian making her first appearance of the evening. She's in for Courtney Montez. Montez with the goal tonight for SVU. Long throw in by Bridgewater. That'll bounce into the arms of Beth Manuel. She'll send that.
Able to do that actually quite quickly, knowing when exactly, okay, we need to advance the ball, let's get it out of here. Let's get it away from all of the Bridgewater players.
That ball from Manuel went to Desana Grabarczyk, also subbed into the game for the Knights. Bridgewater, shot taken, ricochets off SVU defenders. Ultimately goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for SVU. Sydney Bastian, CC, she's one of those veterans. For Coach Rob Dahl, has played a lot of very good minutes. Great person to have come in off the bench. Hopefully give a lift to this Knight squad just before halftime.
Yeah, hopefully. I think that's the goal when you have a few minutes left in the half, putting in a few fresh legs, and also letting some of those players that have been in rest for a few minutes, but also bringing in that new energy. Okay, they want to score, they want to advance the ball. let's get this freshness in so we can get a good end to this half.
SVU would like nothing more than to be able to find the equalizer here in the next minute and a half before halftime. Bridgewater, on the other hand, would like nothing more than to score and put a little bit more space between them and the Knights.
Yeah, kind of start to put them in their place in a sense.
Free kick for Bridgewater from the far side. Cross coming in. It's Haley Gadd. Knights clear. And now the Knights are free, one-on-one. Across. Sydney Bastian. And she will go down. Knights retain possession.
See, that's the important thing is, yeah, you might lose control for a minute. But if you keep the ball with your teammates and really just keep the possession like you just said, Colby, then you still have a chance on goal.
Referee says that ball was out off of SVU, so it'll be a throw in for Bridgewater. Just 20 seconds left till the half. Bridgewater will make a substitution, and Cece most likely that's going to put an end to this first half.
Yeah, definitely trying to kind of stop the clock from, well, not stop the clock, but run the clock out.
So ball comes in, and that will be the final seconds of the clock ticking off here in this first half. So a pretty exciting first half there, Cece. A lot of action, both teams being able to play a lot, within their own third, looking offensively. But in the end, it is Bridgewater that's able to find the net 2 times, and they're going to take a 2-1 lead into the half. What do you expect to see in this second half?
Well, we know the SVU, that they're willing to fight. They're wanting to keep games going. They've tied multiple games, but they've lost games, but they've put up a goal. So it shows that they're not going to give up. They're going to keep fighting. They're going to keep going. And I'm excited to see what they do this second half exactly, and I expect them to really just keep going.
Absolutely. I would expect to see a very action-packed second half. The Knights looking to tie the game up. Bridgewater looking to score a little bit more, because even though the Knights are 0-3-1, Bridgewater knows that earning a victory here tonight is also a good win on their resume as well, due to the Knights' success in the past. So we'll go ahead and take a break, reminding everybody to join us for the second half here in a few minutes. Back here at Knight Stadium, where the Bridgewater Eagles women's soccer team leads SVU Knights by a score of 2-1. For the Knights. That was Ashley Hamblin racing down the near side. Her and Zoe Warner looking to create a little something there offensively. Ultimately, ball was placed just a little too far out in front of Hamblin from Warner.
It was a good advancement, though. Really good attempt to try and just get something going. And that's something that's got to keep the Knights going tonight. If they really want to come out with this win, they need to advance the ball. They need to keep the ball on their offensive side, and they need to keep getting those shots on goal.
They're off to a good start with just that. CC is once again, they're deep into their offensive side of the field, looking to find a little space to work. Bridgewater now able to clear, but once again, Knights right around midfield. Ball played through, looking for Tia Murray. Bridgewater once again able to grab it away. Ashley Hamblin working hard. Bridgewater now able to regain possession, and they'll head the other direction. The Knights look to get organized defensively. Ball played through.
Beth Manuel definitely came out to clear that one, and that's something that we were actually talking about a little bit during halftime. Is when is it the right decision to come out as a goalkeeper? Do you want to stay in, knowing that you have someone there, or do you want to come out and trust that something is going to be that your goal is going to be protected by one of your teammates? And that's one of the hardest decisions to make.
That decision she had made was a good one right there, coming out and clearing the ball. Bridgewater through ball Bridgewater with the ball. Manuel in front. Again, a great save by Beth.
Great moment right there, and also really good clear as well.
Once again, Bridgewater with that sneaky through ball behind the Knight defender. And they had a forward there streaking. She had a clear shot, just Manuel was the only person between her and the goal, and Manuel, like we said, made another great save. Manuel comes down with an easy ball. Little tangle. Bridgewater, a long shot. And Manuel able to deflect it up and over the goal. So Bridgewater, after a couple early opportunities in the second half by SVU, Bridgewater has come right back, Cece, and created a couple opportunities of their own.
No, exactly. They came into this half immediately just like firing and not holding anything back. Any opportunity or any look that they have, they're taking and they're using it.
As a result of their efforts right there, they will have another corner. This is their fourth of the evening. SVU so far not one corner kick. Manuel that time came off her line strong and punches the ball out. Knights clear that corner. It's good to see Beth that time. Came out very decisive on that corner and punched that ball away from the goal.
No, exactly. And even when, like we were saying a minute ago, when the keeper makes the decision to come out, they have to be confident with it, just knowing that the goal is going to be protected. And she, even in these last few minutes, has made some very wise decisions in that. Plus, her defense is really helping her right now.
Knights looking ahead. Zoe Warner once again had some space, but well played by Bridgewater. Bridgewater with some space.
Getting a little twisted up and losing control of the ball, but I can imagine that Bridgewater, their kind of halftime conversation with their team was, okay, we scored some goals. We're going to keep doing that tonight. Like, let's keep that going. And I think that's why, even in these first few minutes, they've just come at the Knights hard.
Another ball played over the top, looking for Bridgewater. And Beth, once again, with a good decision, comes out and meets that ball. Goal kick, sending things to the offensive side for the Knights. Ball played out of bounds. The Knights will have a goal kick, or a throw in. My apologies. Knights scrambling against this good Bridgewater defense. Right now, CC, at least that possession, every time the Knights found a new player, it seemed like they were quickly swarmed by 2 or 3 defensive players for Bridgewater.
No, scrambling is definitely a word that I would use to describe what the second half is probably going to be like. One, the Knights scrambling to really just put forward their best effort to score and to keep going and really to prevent Bridgewater from scoring again, but also Bridgewater scrambling to keep going.
Zoe Warner with tremendous effort. Zoe was trying to get a shot off on goal as she was there right in front, but again she was battling 2 Bridgewater defenders. Ultimately Bridgewater was able to clear. Bridgewater now.
You can love that effort. You can love that effort though that she was just putting even on their defense. That shows that she's not giving up.
Zoe has quite the motor. She's always moving around there, always in the mix. She's not afraid to go back and help her teammates on defense. Knights, something promising, 3-on-2. And once again, Bridgewater with solid defense. Knights still on possession. Hamblin. Tia Murray with a long shot. It's going to be wide.
It's nice to see, though, her taking that, putting forth that effort, and even seeing that look, just going for it. And that's important. That's an important thing about soccer is when you have that look on goal, when you have that opportunity, you have to take it because you don't know when it's going to come back again.
Absolutely. That's, seems to be part of Coach Dahl's philosophy offensively is just get the shots. Get the shots, make the defense make the plays, make the goaltender make the saves. Even if they deflect it, hopefully they deflect it and it comes right back and you have another shot. And just keep putting that pressure on the defense. Knights maintain possession.
We've also been able to see in the second half, it's been a lot more physical. There's been many more people have been falling down. There's been less fouls called thus far, but we can see the battles have been there. People have been falling down because both of these teams, they're playing aggressive and they're going to be going at it.
Both teams looking to go into their conference schedule with some momentum. Knights begin their conference play this Saturday down in Rocky Mount, North Carolina against NC Wesleyan. Of course, we mentioned the Knights picked second in the preseason poll. So both teams, they'd like a win going into their conference season. And of course, the schools were only separated by maybe 45 miles. So anytime Bridgewater and SVU get together, it's always a hard play and well contested. Whether it's a match or a game, whatever it is, both sides really put forth great efforts.
Exactly. Kind of not necessarily our same town rivals, but in a sense.
Good play there by Bridgewater, looking to intercept the long pass intended for Ashley Hamblin. Knights, however, will retain possession with a throw-in. Now Bridgewater will throw in midfield. This is Anna Beelan. And the referee gives a foul on Bridgewater, so SVU will have a free kick, still on the Bridgewater side. Heavy pressure by Bridgewater. Good play by Haley Gadd. Looking for Hamblin. Now Zoe Warner. Her and Hamblin. Hamblin with the cross. That goes off Bridgewater, and that, the referee says, will be a goal kick. Looked like it may have deflected off of Bridgewater, but the referee signals goal kick, and we will see substitutions on both sides. Tia Murray heading out.
That play right there that just barely happened, you could just see the great teamwork happening. You could see the connections happening between these players. Haley Gadd with some great defense, passing and moving it forward to Hamblin. And then really just, you could see them going forward with really just that force that they all had. With some great moments with that teamwork.
Bridgewater deep in the Knights side of the field. Knights come up with some good defense. Here comes Kelsey with a long ball. Warner. Addie Newman also onto the pitch for the Knights. Long shot taken there by number 14. That is Ashley Kelsey. Deflected by Bridgewater, and ultimately that will be throw in for Bridgewater on the far side.
I love how earlier you even said that Zoe has a motor, and we have been able to see that she's just plugging along. She's still going. She's applying pressure on the ball on those Bridgewater defenders, but she's also, you can just see her going, especially hustling towards that ball, really attempting to just get something going for the Knights.
No, absolutely. You'll see her deep on the defensive end. She's always moving around on the offensive end, trying to find a way to break through. A little surprised that she hasn't connected on a goal thus far this season, but I don't think it's going to be too long before she has her breakthrough goal as a Knight. Bridgewater working hard for a shot, but the Knights defense is up to the task. Able to get a clearance, but now Bridgewater looking for a cross, and they get it. And that goes across, off the crossbar, and a rebound, and that is going to be a goal for Bridgewater. Very tough play there for the Knights as Bridgewater made the cross. Got past the first Knight defender. Had an open shot that went off the crossbar, rebounded right back to the foot of a Bridgewater player, and she was able to put it past Beth Manuel into the net.
That's the exact kind of rebound that, as an offensive player, that's exactly what you want to happen. That if you don't connect with it on that first try and it comes right back to you, that you get that second perfect look at it. Because the defense, you can only move so fast to get back, especially when it's a cross pass to the other side of the field. There's only so much you can do to drop back and to protect the goal. So that was a really good move and a really good play from Bridgewater.
And that goal scored by Laura Narby. So that is her second goal of the evening, her fifth on the season. As I mentioned before, she is the leading goal scorer for Bridgewater. And as such, that goal right there is one of those things where you're just in the right place at the right time, and it seems like those goal scorers often have that knack, Cece.
No, exactly. If it comes right back to you, then you're just like, perfect, another chance.
So the Knights now faced with the difficult task of finding 2 goals here in the last 28 minutes of this match.
Yeah, it's always something that's kind of not necessarily disheartening, but hard to see and hard to deal with as a player when that third goal goes in. It's one thing when it's just the second goal because, okay, you're only 1 shot away. But 2 kind of applies a little bit more pressure, and it becomes a little bit more of a mental game where it's like, hey, what are we going to do? What am I going to do? We have to keep going. That's exactly what you need to do.
And along those lines, CC, right now, the first thing the Knights would like to do is find that goal to bring them within 1 goal, right? The sooner they can do that, if they're able, then they have the energy to go and try out and find that equalizer. Bridgewater, of course, will be doing their best to not allow that to happen. And just a few moments ago, once again, there was quite the scramble in front of the goal. Bridgewater unable to get a solid shot attempt. And now the Knights looking to organize themselves on offense. And there will be a giveaway to Bridgewater.
A little bit of an unfortunate turnover.
Long shot taken there by Bridgewater. That will be over the crossbar and wide. Goal kick for the Knights. And now a throw in for Bridgewater. Flick into the box. Well defended by the Knights.
Tonight, I think the rest of tonight, one of the most important things that has to happen for Southern Virginia is really to put forth more energy on their defense and to really just prevent Bridgewater, who has girls that are really strong in their offense, to just prevent them from doing what they can do best. If they put forth that extra pressure, they can prevent Bridgewater from going forward, obviously, and scoring more goals. But if they do that, it can build their confidence and build forth their energy and help them advance and progress tonight.
No, that is part of the reason why Coach Dahl has put together such difficult preseason or non-conference schedule for the Knights. As we mentioned, they'll begin the conference portion of their season on Saturday, and that's where we'll begin to see the fruits of the labor there, to see what this preparation against teams of the caliber of Bridgewater, Washington Lee, Mary Washington, and so forth, how well that has prepared the Knights for their conference play.
Yeah, and the hope is that when that conference play does start, they're gonna be able to face it with ease and just go forward with it. They'll take it in stride and be like, okay, we've been able to play these teams. This is what we've been able to do well. These teams aren't maybe the exact same, so let's apply what we learned.
Good judgment there by Beth. She comes out to take a shot that was deflected. Be able to handle it easily. As far as Bridgewater, they've also played a very strong schedule in preparation for their ODAC conference season. We were talking a little interesting was that Bridgewater was selected 4th in the preseason poll of the ODAC, yet they were 6th in the regional ranking. So we were discussing how that didn't really seem to be too consistent there, but as they've shown here tonight, they're a very strong team, worthy of the ranking, 6th in the region, and it'll be interesting to see. If I had to guess, looking at the rankings and some of the results, I would guess they're going to do better than 4th place in the ODAC.
Yeah, even just seeing them tonight, they are, like you said, Colby, they're a strong team and they have so much potential, and so it'll be fun and also interesting to see how far they go and what they succeed with this season.
Substitutions being made here. 23 minutes left in the match. Play restarts. Knights with possession. Bridgewater will earn the throw in. Substitutes. Hannah England in for Bridgewater. And Rachel Bodkin enters the game for SVU. Manuel with the restart. And foul on Bridgewater. Knights will have a free kick from midfield. Haley Gadd hustles up and prepares to send this kick near the top of the area, if not further.
That's something that we've seen her do tonight multiple times. Really send that forward and put it high and let it fly.
And there is a yellow card actually given to Bridgewater. Hannah England, who just entered the match.
SVU is really coming out right now and just putting forth a lot of pressure on their defense. I mean, we could even see, there's been a lot of physicality as there was that free kick on the side with Rachel Bodkin, but we can also just see they're putting forth a lot of effort to prevent Bridgewater from getting more of these goals, and we can even see that with Beth Manuel. She's been having a great game tonight, getting a lot of saves. I mean, unfortunately, there has been those 3 goals, but compared to the amount of saves that she's had tonight, she's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, you might look at the score and see 3-1 and think that the goalkeeper has had a less than stellar game, but there have been several saves that she's made that if not made, the score would be much more than 3-1, unfortunately, for SVU. So Beth has had a solid game back there. SVU continuing to try and find that goal that might cut the lead in half to make the final minutes of this match even more interesting.
Yeah, I think that's what they're going to be trying to do, of course. We can even just see, like, there's been little mistakes, little turnovers that have been happening that have been kind of preventing that. Maybe just getting a little too excited, touching the ball a little too hard, not quite hard enough, and just unfortunately losing control.
Be a throw-in earned for the Knights. A couple substitutions were made there. Natalie Blazer back on, and Glenn Peterson subs out. And Tia Murray also back in with Eddie Newman going out. Dasana Grabarczyk also comes in, and McKenna Curry goes out. And for for the first time this evening, we see Lauren Madsen. She comes in and Ashley Kelsey goes off. So Coach Dahl looking here to see if he can't create something.
That's always, I think that's always the hope. Like we mentioned before, like when you bring in these new players, when you're having these substitutions, not only bringing in like fresh energy and fresh legs, but you're kind of bringing back the like desire. Because I mean, of course, the players that are out here, they have this want, but the ones that have been sitting on the sidelines watching, they kind of have this built-upness inside them that they're like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to achieve. And so when you put them out there, you kind of just hope that they fulfill that.
Absolutely. Looking for a way to put a little bit of extra energy out there on the pitch, see if they can will their team to getting that goal to cut the lead in half. Couple substitutions now being made by Bridgewater. Bridgewater loses that out of play, so SVU restarts with the throw in.
I think this is the time when it starts to kind of hit the Knights where it's like, okay, we have a little over 15 minutes left. If we want to advance this game, we need to obviously advance the ball, but we need to get it in our offensive side of the field, and we need to be smart with what we're doing and be wise with how we're going to handle the ball. Because if you want to make these goals, if you want to make those moves, you need to be willing to do what it takes to do so.
And for the last few minutes, the Knights have struggled getting the ball over midfield with much of an opportunity to do anything. Bridgewater maintains strong possession. As the Knights look for an opportunity to take back possession and maybe build something offensively. Good defense. Strong defense by Bridgewater, but the Knights once away, come away.
I also see some great ball handling skills coming in from the Knights, really just taking control of the ball, but also the grit and determination right there that you could see. She had the ball and she was going through multiple of those players, and she even had help from her teammate. Just being able to get through that, we can see that energy that she has right there. And that was Natalie Blazer just really going forward, and hopefully she can continue to do that tonight. Really just push through, because that was really amazing to see.
Yeah, good offensive play there by Natalie. She was knocked off the ball at one point, but maintained some strength. But Bridgewater was able to force the ball out of bounds. Now Natalie, top of the penalty area. Ball gets deflected. Referee says that went off of SVU. It'll be a goal kick for Bridgewater. Sydney Bastian back on for SVU.
was a good decision. Good decision right there from Beth Manuel, being able to come out, even with that Bridgewater player coming at her and one of her teammates coming at her. She knew exactly what she wanted to do, and she was determined to really pick up that ball and just get it out.
Scramble for the ball. Knights. Sydney Bastion. The Knights reverse field. Tia Murray. Knights with a little space in the midfield. Strong play defensively, and Bridgewater once again takes possession.
Some good defense and really getting control of the ball there from Tia Murray.
Bridgewater on the far side, building momentum. Cross, and that gets through, all the way through the box. And a foul will be called on Bridgewater for hitting the goalie, Beth Manuel, as she made a diving attempt at the cross.
That was kind of a dangerous play right there. Almost the exact same, not the exact same, but fairly similar to one of those plays that happened a while ago that caused that third goal to happen for Bridgewater. Kind of bringing back a little bit the exact crossing the goal, crossing the field. Thankfully, though, there was that foul called.
Bridgewater regains possession after the goal kick. Good defense by the Knights with the clearance, but it will be a throw-in for Bridgewater. Cross by Bridgewater. Knights were able to clear the box. Sydney Bastion makes a run. Unable to get to it, but Knights on possession. Bridgewater plays it a little too far forward, and SVU once again look to start something offensively.
Like we've already been saying, tonight has definitely been a night of scrambling for the Knights. They've been struggling a little bit with keeping that possession, but the times that they've had it, they've been able to fight for it, and really just controlling the ball is something that they've been trying to do all night. Really just keep it in their favor. We can see that Bridgewater has been playing some really, really good defense and really just forcing a lot of pressure onto the Knights, preventing them from succeeding with doing so.
Good ball played to the outside by Bridgewater, and the attempted cross is blocked and results in another corner for Bridgewater. Bridgewater with a couple players inside the box. The rest line up on top. Cross comes all the way in. And that will be cleared wide. SVU will bring it up the far side. Bridgewater's able to retreat quickly on defense to slow the Knights down. And Bridgewater retakes possession, and they will set up offensively near midfield. Knights take possession. Sydney Bastion right at midfield. And Bridgewater able to get the takeaway. Making a run up the near side. Cross will go just behind. And a long shot taken by Bridgewater. Sells wide, but apparently deflected, so it will be another corner for Bridgewater. 7.5 minutes left in this match. Mass substitutions being made here prior to this corner kick being made.
Hopefully with all those substitutions, it brings in a little bit, some of that energy that we've been talking about, a little bit of that oomph to keep going.
We'll see who has gotten the nod here to play in the final 7.5 minutes. Substitutions from both sides being made.
And even just as we look at statistics tonight and kind of what has happened thus far, if you look at the shots on goal, Bridgewater has had 11 attempts. They've had 11 opportunities on the goal, whereas Southern Virginia has only had 2. And that's something that isn't going to be very helpful. You need more shots on goal, obviously, if you want to score. And in order to do that, you need to be able to, one, get possession of the ball, but retain that possession, which is unfortunately something that the Knights have been struggling with a little bit tonight. But hopefully in the future, they'll be working on that, as we know. But that's something that they will hopefully succeed with.
No, that's been a trademark for this SVU program in previous years. A lot of shots on goal. It hasn't ever been uncommon for them to have a lot of quick possessions that have resulted in shots. And tonight there's a lot of good offensive, but unfortunately for the Knights, it just seemed like they could never connect on that final pass that would result in some sort of a shot. Now, that's also, a nod to the defense that Bridgewater's played here tonight, as we've seen throughout the entire match. No matter where the ball was going, it seemed like Bridgewater always had 2 or 3 players that were going to the ball, looking to dispossess the SVU player that the pass was intended for or who had possession at that time. So, obviously we knew it was going to be a tough task tonight. Bridgewater comes in very, very solid team, and they did a good job of disrupting the Knights' offensive play.
Yeah, just a little bit. But I mean, even if you flip it a little bit, you can see that Southern Virginia has had 8 saves tonight. That shows like the amount of energy that they've been faced with, that they've also had 20 shots faced on them as well. So there's been a lot coming at the Knights. And looking at that number, that just shows how much they've been able to prevent.
No, absolutely. So going down the subs, want to get everybody in here. Brianna Carreau comes onto the pitch for Bridgewater. Also Addie Newen back. Courtney Pack makes her first appearance on the evening. Courtney Montez back on, as is Ashley Kelsey and Zoe Warner coming in. And then also Delynn Peterson. So in total there, that is 7 substitutes on for SVU, and Carreau being the lone substitute for Bridgewater at that stoppage. We are now nearing 4.5 minutes left in this match.
You can even see just kind of the urgency that SVU has. As soon as they knew that they were getting that free kick, that Knight grabbed the ball, put it down, and immediately was like, hey, let's get the ball going, let's get it rolling. Because in order for them to get, if they want to score these 2 points, which I'd imagine that they do in these last few minutes, they got to get it going. Because what's working against them is not only Bridgewater, but the clock.
Absolutely, that clock is winding down. Seems like in soccer, it winds down a lot quicker than it might in other sports like basketball, where you have so many timeouts. Football, clock management But here, the clock doesn't stop, only for certain, stoppages as the referee deems necessary. So sometimes you can have 30 or 40 seconds without any action whatsoever, but that comes off of the clock. And as we know here in NCAA soccer, there is no stoppage time.
Exactly. It keeps running, which is an unfortunate truth.
Ball played forward, but just a little wide. That will be a throw-in for Bridgewater. Courtney Montez with solid defense.
Completely preventing that Bridgewater girl from really controlling that ball.
Throw in for the Knights, far side near midfield. Good run made there by Tessa Miller.
Looks like there was a little bit of a scramble and a little bit of tackling going on.
A little bit of a tangle there between Montez and number 17, that's Sarah Ferrali of Bridgewater.
Yeah, as much as the Knights are really fighting, they're really being aggressive and really trying to just keep going. You can even tell how much Bridgewater is not giving up, not letting up. They're keeping that defense up nice and strong, and they're really just preventing the Knights from advancing.
Cross by the Knights, Addie Newman. Miller. Knights still with possession here in the final minute. Knights would love to find at least one more score here. A long shot taken and saved there by Lockard. She had to make the diving save as the ball was curving toward the lower right side of the goal.
That was a great shot taken by the Knights. Really just great opportunity, saw it and took it.
Addie Newman, midfield, 15 seconds remaining. Knights looking for one final shot.
As that countdown starts, they're just going for it.
Ball flicked on, and that will find its way into the arms of the goalkeeper Lockard of Bridgewater. And with that, time will expire, and Bridgewater will leave SVU with a 3-1 victory tonight. So CC, overall, it was an exciting game to watch. A lot of offense, a lot of good play on both sides of the ball by both teams. It was a fun game to be able to watch. Fortunately for the Knights, they come out on the short end, giving up 3 goals tonight. Sure, a couple of those they'd like to have back. Maybe, like you said earlier, a couple, miscommunication here or there. But a positive that they can definitely take is they scored the first goal of the evening. They put some pressure on Bridgewater early on.
No, exactly, that they kind of set the tone, that they knew what they wanted to achieve. And I mean, there's so much that they can learn even from this game. Like, okay, they can keep going, they have that great determination, but also they can see, okay, these are maybe some things we need to work on, or maybe some things that, this is what we did good on. There's always so much that you can reflect and see as you play.
For certain they will be looking for the positives and the things that they can build on. As we have mentioned, they will begin their conference season Saturday down at NC Wesleyan. So there'll be plenty for them to review things that they did in this match against a very good opponent, Bridgewater, and that they can learn and take into their conference season. You know, where, like we've said, they're picked to finish second in the USA South, but you know it's pretty tight there. Top three in the USA South will be interesting and a fun season, I'm sure. So we want to wish Coach Rob Dahl and his team good luck as they begin the conference season on Saturday. And Cece, thanks again for joining us in the broadcast booth. As always, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Well, we love doing this.
We want to remind everybody to like, comment, or subscribe on Night Broadcasting, and join us on Saturday where we'll be broadcasting the tri-match in volleyball, women's volleyball. It'll be Southern Virginia University, and they will be hosting here on campus Pfeiffer University and William Peace in a tri-match. So each team will play 2 conference matches on Saturday. I want to invite everybody to join us for that. Once again, everybody, I'm Colby Kemp for CC Bands. We want to wish everybody a good evening, and as always,